Welcome to Leadership Speak, an advanced Toastmaster club for leadership development. We are one of the top 5 clubs globally. My name is Angela Brown, and I am the Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. We provide supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skill, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Leadership Speak is the premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. We are an advanced club focused primarily on leadership development in everything we do. Our timer has virtual hand raised, so we can all see immediately who is keeping the time. Our Toastmaster of the day will lead us in our meeting today. Please help me. Welcome. Our Toastmaster of the day today will be Gilda, and I will read a brief introduction of Gilda for you. Gilda joined Leadership Speak in 2024. I'm sorry, I can't forget. I'm so sorry, I can't seem to find it. I'm sorry, Gilda, if you could just give us a brief introduction of yourself. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you for your energizing message and greeting everyone, all our leaders from Leadership Speak and our distinguished guests. My name is Gilda Shlah, and I am joining you from Alberta, Canada, where we have Saturday, cold morning, 6:30 sharp. Being the Toastmaster of the day, I come up with the theme of the meeting. And for the benefit of all our guests, this is what we usually do. The Toastmaster of the day comes and greet everybody and introduce the theme of the day. Our theme is the essence of collaborative leadership. How do we extract the essence of any collaborative leadership? We need to mix few and important ingredients or key elements to it. The essence of collaborative leaderships are trust, empowering members in any organization, shared responsibilities, and decision making. In any organization, small or big, when we see a team achieve their goal, we know they have and they knew the essence of the collaborative member. For that, we need to mix few ingredients to come up to this level. Before I get into the ingredients of the collaborative leadership, I would like to welcome again all our guests and ask them to put their name in the chat, in the guest book that Hannah will post in the chat box, and post any of their concerns or questions or takeaway from our meeting, and one of the leaders will get back to them. How do we get to the ingredients and what are the key elements? I will say few of the elements that we need to get the essence of collaborative leadership. The first one is shared understanding of the organization's purpose, goal, and value. When people succeed, we know for sure that they have the whole team join under one purpose. They understand the end result and they bring that dream goal to become reality. Other ingredients is promoting empathy among the organization members. And that will strengthen the contribution of all team members. We have more ingredients and key elements that we combine them to come up with the essence of collaborative leadership. But before that, I would like to introduce the two important leaders from our club who will take essential roles to run this meeting. The first one is our timer. Our timer today, can we have the host to spotlight our timer, Mariam Sidavi? Host.
Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, fellow Toastmaster and the guest. My name Mariam Saidawi. I am the timer for today's meeting. I shall time you according to the time on the agenda. After each session, I shall post the time on the chat box. We have the two sessions, one of the for the speaker and the second for the evaluation. For the time already, I will share according for the time will be displayed the green and yellow and red. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Mariam. Thank you for your introduction to your role. Our next essential role, before I get into that, Mariam, can you raise your virtual hand, please? So you will be visible to all speakers.
Yeah.
Your virtual
I am,
on your screen.
yeah, on the screen already sure. In the screen also this the green, is yellow and red.
Thank you. Now you could
can hear
raise
me
your
and
virtual hand on the screen.
yes.
The host
Yes.
the host will help you do that.
You
He
can
could,
see me and you can hear me and you can see them the already the
thank you. Thank you, Mariam. The next role is one of the most important role is our grammarian. Host, can you spot the grammarian? Nicole White, please. Nicole White. Hi, Nicole.
Hello.
Where are you speaking, Nicole, from?
Excuse me?
Where are you speaking today from?
I'm speaking from cold Ontario, Canada.
Oh, you are Nicole from cold Ontario. Welcome to the cold country. Nicole will tell us her roles and introduce the word of the day. The stage is all yours, Nicole.
Greetings. Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and our distinguished guests. As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any improper language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, our word is collaborate, quite fitting for a theme, right? And its meaning, work jointly on an activity, especially to produce or create something. When using a sentence, the example, Leadership Speak Toastmasters members are self-directed leaders who consistently collaborate to achieve club excellence. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. I will give the grammarian report during the meeting when called upon to do so. And I'll also report on the usage of the word of the day. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Nicole, for your explanation of your role and introducing the word of the day, collaborate. For the benefit of our guests, in every meeting, we have one of the leaders in the club to have the toast for the theme. And today, we have Nikita Winkler, who will give us the toast of the theme. Host, can you spot Nikita?
Thank you, Gilda. So, greetings to all our Toastmasters and guests coming here today together. That is only the beginning. Staying together is progress, but working together, that is success. These are the words of Henry Ford. And this idea of progress through collaboration is something that we know firsthand here at Leadership Speak. You know, just 2 weeks ago, I visited another club. And when they found out that I was from Leadership Speak, the Toastmaster of the day said, I've been to those club meetings and wow, I have never seen such numbers at Toastmasters. She never knew or thought that these numbers that we have here were possible. These remarkable numbers that we celebrate at Leadership Speak is not just a coincidence. It is the result of visionary leadership. Leadership that knows the power of delegation and the strength of collaboration. And every milestone that we celebrate here has shattered glass ceilings. Not just because of any one individual, no, because not one of us is as smart as all of us. Those are the words of Ken Blanchard. But because of our ability to work towards a common vision. At Leadership Speak, we are not just going fast. No, 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 no. We are going far. We are going far, not just in size, but in impact. Imagine what kind of communication is required to develop a team as diverse as our team here at Leadership Speak, with global membership spanning 29 countries, different cultures, languages, time zones. Our success doesn't just depend on speaking. It depends on listening, understanding, and adapting. It means bridging differences with empathy and finding common ground despite the distance. We also ensure that every voice here at Leadership Speak is heard. No, we don't just communicate. We connect, we collaborate, and we co-create. Today, we celebrate the impact of our collective leadership. We celebrate the barriers that we have broken to bring me and you, all of us, closer together. We celebrate this powerful web of connections that we have woven, and most importantly, we celebrate each and every leader who stands behind Leadership Speak. So, ladies and gentlemen, please unmute yourselves, show us your beautiful faces, raise your glasses, and here is to our collaborative strength.
Our
collaborative
strength.
Over to you, Toastmaster Gilda.
Thank you. Thank you, Nikita, for your toast and for giving us many of the elements that we need to bring the essence of collaborative leadership. Clear understanding of the organization and mutual communication and trust among members to build transparency and have open communication and reliability. Thank you.
Gilda, just one request.
Yes.
If you can ask the
Yes,
timer to raise their hand, electronic hand, that'd be great. Thank you.
Timer. Mariam,
please.
can you raise
Yes,
your
please.
virtual hand, please? Your electronic hand on your computer?
Yeah, because I will try to find, but honestly, I don't know where this is gone.
I placed it in the chat privately to you, Miriam. If you look, I've highlighted spots.
That's all right. Let's continue while she tries to figure it out. Go ahead.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Thank you. What are more ingredients we need or key elements to extract the essence of collaborative leadership? How about active listening? Clear expression of ideas makes people feel comfortable in their environment. And respectful feedback receiving from each other. Paying attention to each other and understanding their perspective. And respond thoughtfully to any ideas. How about being resilient? Embrace change. Leaders who could adjust to different circumstances, no matter where they are and what the circumstances is, and face challenges. Visualize problem solving or resilience, and that is a key element to get the essence of collaborative leadership. We have more elements to add, but let's get into our next sessions. And before we get to our next session, I would like to ask Hannah to post the guest book in the chat box for our guests to add their names, and one of the leaders will contact them and would like you guys to give us your takeaway, any comments or any suggestions. Our next segment is an education module. In every meeting, we have an opportunity for one of the leaders to speak for 20 minutes, and the speech will be related to the theme. Today, we have Jessica Mathabatha, who will give us an educational module. She's doing this as a project. So can we have the host to spotlight her evaluator, Yusili, to give us the purpose of her project?
Thank you,
Hi,
Madam
Yusili.
Toastmaster. Hi, Madam Toastmaster of the day. Thank you. Toastmaster Mathabatha will present a speech on the project Speak Professionally. Prepare to speak professionally. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. She can speak from 18 to 22 minutes. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day. You are muted.
Jessica Mathabatha is certified speech therapist and vocal coach, and the current VP membership of another club, Legan Valley Toastmaster. With passion for empowering entrepreneurs, Jessica helps leaders master their voices, enhance their presence. Jessica Mathabatha, the stage is all yours for your presentation.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. True leadership is not a solo act. It thrives in collaboration. The essence of collaborative leadership is that ability to unify diverse voices into a shared vision. And that begins with mastering our own. Because a leader who has mastered their vocal presence is able to engage, inspire, and influence. They're able to do that for the collective. Because when they do that, they turn individual strength into strength of a whole. Now, when leaders are able to do that, they're not only elevating themselves, they're elevating the whole group. Because collaborative leadership is that art of bringing everybody together. It's that art of building an environment of trust. It's about maximizing the potential of not only ourselves, but the people that we lead. Within that framework, mastering our voices is critical. Mastering the way we communicate is of pivotal importance. That is just as when a conductor is orchestrating that massive orchestra and getting them to do that all in unison, then a leader needs to be able to transform, to be able to influence, to communicate effectively so that they can motivate their teams and foster that atmosphere of collaboration. Ladies and gentlemen, our voices is not just a sound, but it's that bridge between what's in our heads, what's in our hearts, and connecting that with the rest of the world. It is through that instrument that we are able to connect, make those deeper connections. It's that through that instrument that we're able to showcase our presence. It's through that instrument that we're able to showcase our authority. Because mastering our voices is not just about speaking clearly, but instead a leader who masters their voices, they do forge deep connections, and also they embody confidence. And that, in that way, they showcase their strength, they showcase their authenticity in how they communicate. And when you harness that potential of your voice, you're able to influence how you're perceived and the impact that you create. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine walking into a room, or imagine those leaders or that famous person that you know, that you think they are your ideal person, as in terms of those people that can communicate effectively. Imagine them walking into a room, or yourself walking into a room, and having those grabbing that people's attention, that attention get drawn to you before you even say a word. And then when you open your mouth, you just command that attention. You exude that confidence, and you inspire the people that you communicate with. That is the essence of mastering powerful communication. Because your voice is not only a sound, it's an instrument of influence. It's a reflection of your authority, and that bridge for deeper connection. It's that distance between you and your success. And as leaders, how we communicate and how we are perceived is also influence how well we communicate. And those leaders that have mastered their communication, the thing that they have mastered is the art of 5 key elements that I'm going to share today. I'll add the 6th one as well, but they have mastered the art of, which is the foundations of vocal mastery, which is pitch, pace, melody, tone, volume, and body language. That's just a small part of a communication toolkit that as leaders, when you have that in your toolkit, you'll be able to inspire, you'll be able to connect, you'll be able to collaborate in a way that elevates yourself and elevates those that are around you. You'll be able to connect with the people so that you're getting everybody's voice heard. Even those people that are afraid to get their voice heard. So I'm going to share those 5 elements, including the 6th, which is body language. First one, pitch. Pitch is about the foundation of vocal authority. Men, their default pitch is low. For females, default pitch is high. But as humans, as leaders, we need to be able to balance the two. As males, for example, if you're always down, speaking very low, down in your pitch, that can sometimes be perceived as you are distant, or you're not engaged, or you're less interested. And also as females, if we are forever staying in our high pitch, if we're always up there and speaking up in a very high-pitched voice, sometimes that you might not be perceived as knowing or being confident. And also, that doesn't inspire a lot of, for people to believe in what you say. Yes, it might sound cute being up there, but it's all about getting the balance. Because sometimes when you're always up in the high pitch, people can think you're very anxious, because the anxious sounding voice is always high pitched and fast paced. And also goes for men. If it's a deep, low voice all the time and you're staying in the basement, which is what I call low pitch voice, then people will find it difficult to connect because it's not giving that warmth in your voice. And so as a leader, to become effective, you need to be able to know when to balance the two and when to visit your high pitch, which is when you're trying to get that excitement, to talk about exciting things. You need to visit that high pitch. And also when you're talking something very important, you need to know how to visit the low pitches and get that so that you're communicating effectively. And the second foundation is pace. Pace talks to how fast and how slow we speak. And it's about the rhythm of our engagement. When we're speaking very slow and we're always down in a very slow pace, sometimes that can be perceived also as if you don't really certain about what you're talking about. And also, if you want the quickest way to lose your audience interest, try being always very slow. Slow pace is the quickest way to lose your audience interest. Also, when you're speaking very fast and you're really going very fast, and that's also another way of losing the interest of your client, because completely they don't even know what you're saying. So managing and balancing our pace is key, because then you know when you're collaborating with people, you need to really meet them. When I look at the scale of pace, I would say it's scale of 1 to 10, around about 7, it's the average pace where people when you're able to connect, round about 7, because pace of 3 is going to put your audience to sleep, and a pace of 9 is going to make them sit there and go, oh my God, what are they on about? So it's very important to balance those. The third key is melody. Melody is the music of our voice. In Toastmasters, we hear a lot about monotonous voice. Monotonous voice is when people are not playing into that music in their voices. I don't know about yourselves, but sometimes I've listened to music where I don't even understand a single lyric of what they say. But because of the tone, because of the melody of the music, I enjoy and love the music, even though I haven't heard a word of what they say. So that's what melody does to people. Melody also speaks to how we perceive what people are saying. Because no matter how beautiful the story is, if the story is all in the same tone, it's all no melody, then that can put people to sleep. And melody, it's about having those inflections in your voice, knowing what inflection to play at what time. Like I said, our voices is more like a musical instrument. So when you know how to play that musical instrument, then you will be able to get your audience to dance to the tune of your music. And the fourth one is tone. Tone, this is one of my favorite. Melody and tone is one of, for me, those foundations that I believe strongly in, because tone is all about the emotion behind your words. Ladies and gentlemen, the way our brain perceives what we say, it usually that the brain perceives the emotion first and then logic. So the tone in our voices is what's going to convey the emotion of what we say. a warm and encouraging tone is going to make people want to surround themselves to you. And a very harsh tone can make you come across as distant, as arrogant, as not wanting to engage. And sometimes there's certain, because our voices are influenced by multiple factors, culture as well. In some cultures, we emphasize that there's quite a lot of emphasis and the tone can come across as harsh to people who are not from that same culture. So that's another thing to bear in mind, especially if you're working across multiple cultures. I mean, especially in the world of today, we're working across the globe. So being mindful of the different cultures that we work with also will help you be able to perceive and understand how they're communicating. And that in a way will make you a better communicator. And so in collaborative leadership or in a collaborative environment, your tone should invite dialogue. It should encourage contribution. It should also help build relationships. For example, when we're giving constructive feedback, a calm, reassuring tone is more of one that we'll be able to connect a little bit better with, and it will sit a lot better with the person that you're speaking with. The fifth one is volume. This speaks to the power of projection. Our volume is about how loud and how soft we're able to speak. My advice to speakers is make sure that your voice is in proportion with the size of the room or the size of the audience. If speaking in a one-to-one environment, obviously the volume will be a little bit lower. Whereas if it's an environment where it's online like today, it's a virtual environment, you voice the volume project so that the voice is in line with the size of that audience. If it's in person and there's a group of 1,000, obviously mic'd up, project the volume so that the voice fills the room. And if it's a bigger environment, also the voice needs to reflect that. Therefore, in collaborative leadership, when we're speaking, how we control our volume will also reflect on how we are perceived. So if our volume is always loud, even in a one-to-one environment, that can sometimes be perceived as harsh, rude, and not wanting to engage, or coming across really full force. And on the other hand, for those of us that say, oh, I'm generally very soft-spoken. Sometimes when you're staying all in your soft-spokenness, in the workplace, that can sometimes not work for us. Because when you're always soft-spoken, it's the easiest way to always get overlooked for promotions. Because when you're not, when your tone is always when your volume, is always soft, then people will perceive that as lack of confidence. And that is the quickest route to get overlooked for a lot, because that's going to close on your visibility. When your volume is low all the time, you will get overlooked for promotions. And that's not doing well for your leadership or the progress in the workplace. The next one is body language. Body language is the silent amplifier of our communication. Our voices does not only work alone. What we do with our face, what we do with our body also enhances our communication ability. Let's say, for example, if I'm speaking to an audience and my voice and my face is all scrunched up, that can sometimes be perceived as I'm very angry, and that's just a barrier. And in addition to that, if I'm forever excessively smiley and all the time, that can also be perceived as if I'm overcompensating for my lack of confidence. So it's all about balancing all those factors. And our body language as well. Sometimes we can excessively use our body language or overuse or misuse. So it's very important in collaborative leadership that when we communicate, we are very mindful of what our voice is saying. Is our face, our body, and our voice all in alignment? In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, your voice is part of your leadership power. And mastering our voices is more than just about speaking or sounding good. It's about leading with authenticity. It's about engaging in confidence. It's about leading with impact. And when you manage and master that, your pitch, pace, tone, melody, and volume, and your body language, you unlock a presence that only a leader can have. You unlock a presence that helps cultivates and captures the attention of your audience. So by honing those foundations, you amplify not only your voice, but you also amplify a shared vision. You also amplify collective success. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you for this valuable presentation. I'm sure our guests have many takeaways from your presentation, and you just explained to us that mastering our voice is important to connect, to inspire, to motivate, and get motivated. And these are key elements of essential collaborative leadership. Our next session is prepared speeches. Today we have 5 speakers. The first speaker is Bindu Thankappan. Host, can you spot our first speaker, Bindu? And her evaluator, Leah Musanga. Leah Musanga will be spotted as well. Hi, Leah.
Hello.
Leah, can you give us the purpose of Bindu's speech?
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Bindu is presenting from the project Evaluation and Feedback. So she presented the first speech. So now she's doing the second speech. So the items that were noted from the first speech that I'll be looking out for in this one is the voice from start to finish, if she maintains the same tone, her Zoom presence, and also the control of her smile. So those are the 3 items that I will be looking out for. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you. Thank you. Bindu Thankappan. She is a doctor by profession and a Toastmaster by passion. Bindu Thankappan, behind the mask. Behind the mask, Bindu Thankappan. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Gilda. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my dear Toastmasters and guests. How many of you wear a mask even when the corona pandemic was over? Thank you. Thank you for that honest surprise. You know, by wearing a mask, you are not expressing your emotions to the outside world. Aren't you? Won't you agree? According to WHO, one of the leading causes of disability is clinical depression. And 1/3 of those who are clinically depressed commit suicide. And do you know why? Because the simple reason that the clinical depression is left unanswered, unattended. Just by wearing a mask on yourself, you are not allowing yourself to open up. I had a friend named Anjana, whose husband is Sajid, and she told me once, Bindu, my husband is not remembering anything. Actually, he's planning to quit his job in Dubai and is coming down to Chennai. He said he can't remember anything. I asked, what is his age? 32. At the 32 years of age, he is having memory problems. So they attended a doctor. Doctor examined and investigated fully and found out nothing was wrong in him. After 3 consecutive active listening sessions, he opened up. Mr. Sajas is a young gentleman. What a good job as a software engineer. But he had to face a lot of challenges in his workplace. He was working alone and he was not able to share his feelings to his spouse or to his friends. He neither had any friends. He was not able to cope up with what was happening around him. After some time, he succumbed and he told to his wife that he is having severe memory problem and he cannot continue his job. Imagine, to his own wife, he was not able to tell the truth, the brutal truth, that he was feeling sad. Now, according to Helen Mayback, one of the leading scientists who have done so many experiments on clinical depression using fMRI, found out that in depression, there are certain areas in the brain which are really get activated. And these are called cingulate cortex, amygdala. One is to do with the emotion, that is amygdala. The other one, cingulate cortex, is to do with the social things. So as a social animal, we tend to be graceful. And for that, we tend to embrace certain behaviors. So much so that we are running away from our own emotions. Simple. I'm not accepting that I am unhappy because I have to put up a brave face. In fact, Sajid was thinking, What does Anjana think of me? It's only been 2 years since I've married. What does my friends think of me when I go home? No, I'm just having a memory problem. This comes to the question, does depression cause memory problem? Of course it is. It is a persistent feeling of sadness which continue for a quite long time. Stresses you all have, I'm having, day in and day out, but we know how to cope up with it. But if you get depressed or if you are feeling sad almost all the days for consecutively for 2 weeks, a diagnosis of clinical depression is being made. As Helen Maybutt told, the depression can be sorted out by yourself. How can it be? Remember the 3 A's. Accept yourself, your weaknesses, you know. Else in this world know better than you. Don't wear this mask, just throw away. Be truthful to yourself. Accept yourself, your weaknesses, your limitations, acknowledge and act accordingly to come out of those feelings of negativity. And what else we can have to run away from this negativity? These are the steps. Always have a positive, supportive environment. The best example, join Toastmasters. And a leadership speak, we know very well that a positive, supportive environment keeps it going. It takes away your negativity, the feeling that you have not done anything much, but the feeling that you have done something. You know how to look at the glass, half full and not half empty. Second, physical activity, jogging, swimming, do whatever you like. Mobility is life, yeah. Dance or sing, whatever you like it. But wait, why? It raises the serotonin, which decreases in depression. So mind you, first hobby whatever. No matter what others think, just do it. Last but not the least, have the sleep, which is the best medicine in the world. Educate sleep, rest, and relaxation. Dear Toastmasters, just unmask yourself to escape from that silent killing depression. Over to you, Gilda.
Thank you. Thank you, Bindu, for this interesting speech. Authenticity. That's one of the ingredients to be authentic. One of the main ingredients to extract the essence of collaborative leadership. Our next speaker is Vinod Panicker, and his evaluator is Marie Cusin. Can we have both spotted, please? And evaluator, Marie Cusin will give us the purpose of Vinod's speech. The stage is yours, Mary.
Thank you. Vinod Panicker presentation will be Presentation Mastery Level 1, Project 3, Introduction to Vocal Variety and Body Language, 5 to 7 minutes. Present a speech on any topic and use vocal variety or body language and gestures or both. We collaborate before the meeting and Vinod specifically wants feedback on voice and gesture. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you for sharing the purpose, Mary. Vinod Panicker, the main thing, Vinod Panicker. The stage is yours.
Don't be a donkey. This is what our Hindi teacher told the entire class when we were in grade 8. What he meant by that was, he said, do you know which season donkeys are the most weakest? He said it's rainy season. Because in rainy season, there is grass everywhere. So the donkey keeps eating the grass and looks up and sees there is lot of grass everywhere and thinks, I didn't eat anything. So in his mind, it has not eaten anything. So it keeps thinking about it and maybe goes in depression and remains weak. This is a donkey story that I still remember from my school. The second story is also about a donkey. It is a philosophical story. It is like a donkey once was thirsty and was walking towards a pond. While it was walking towards the pond, on the left side, it had the pond. On the right hand side, it saw some haystack. Now the donkey is confused. What to do? Should I drink water? Should I eat the hay? Should I drink water? Should I eat? Should I drink water? Should I eat? Should I drink water? Should I eat? And in this thought, the donkey drops dead. And the lesson that was told to us, always keep the main thing the main thing. And that is one thing that I absolutely love about Leadership Speak. Right from the day one, our focus was on developing leaders. We had created a very clear distinction that this club is going to focus on leadership. And no matter whatever haystack we see of glory, we are not going to go towards it. Our focus is only going to be towards leadership. What is your focus in life? To all the leadership members and guests, think about it. And what are the current haystacks that you see in your life that is keeping you diverted from your key goal in life? Now, the first two stories of the donkeys may be a myth. It may not be a reality. But the third story is a reality. One of my favorite stand-up comedian once said this story. It's a real story which happened in IIT Delhi. Now, IIT is like the MIT and Harvard of India, where Sundar Pichai, the Google CEO, is from IIT Kharagpur. But this story happened in Delhi. And he said that he learned one of the most important lesson in life in one of the classes. And that lesson has been a central core message that I took from that story, and I even implement it till date. It happened long time back. He said, there was a marketing class at 7:30 a.m. in the morning in Delhi. Now, in January, Delhi would be full of fog and it's very cold. Maybe not as cold as Canada, but it is pretty cold. So what happened was, this person, I forgot his name, he went to the class, he reached before 7:30. So most of the students were there, they were sitting. Two students reached late to the class. The professor looked at both of them and said, your punishment for today is, you will make tea for the entire class. Both the students went out. They were searching for a tea shop. 7:30 in the morning, who opens a tea shop, right? So they could not find anything, and they could not find any resources in the college. They went back to the class and told the professor, Professor, we cannot make tea, or we could not find tea. The professor looked at them and said, if I had called the office peon and told him to make tea, he would also have given the same excuse that you gave, that I am not able to make tea for all the people. The student said yes. Then he asked, what is the difference between the office peon and an IIT graduate. If I have to listen to an excuse, I would prefer it to listen from an office boy rather than an IIT graduate. You will be leaders of tomorrow. When you get a problem, find solution. In just 10 minutes, they went out, came with the tea. And from that time, it became a culture that no matter who comes late, you have to make tea. Now, this story has been very close to my heart because it is something what Peter Drucker had said long time back. The job of a leader is to deliver result, not to be nice, not to be good. If you are hired for something, you need to deliver result. Our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Gilda, mentioned about decision making in her opening remarks. So as leaders of leadership speak and leaders in real world, are you making your decisions or are you giving excuses? Think of the things that you want to do in life. So from all the three stories, let me bring it to a conclusion. What is it that you want in life? And how much? Be very clear in your mind. And once you have that in your mind, keep that main thing the main thing. There will be hundreds of distractions around you, but only focus on what you want. And always remember the difference between a leader or any other person. Leaders are effective decision maker. They will collaborate, they will co-create, and they will ensure that things get done. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Vinod, for this wonderful speech. Our third speaker is Jyothi Thomas and her evaluator, Lydia Wanjiko. Lydia Wanjiko, she will be spotted. There you go, Lydia. And she will give us the purpose of Jyothi's project. Lydia.
Thank you. Toastmaster Jyothi will be speaking, giving her icebreaker speech on Visionary Communication Level 1, Project 1. And she is a persistent person, resilient, and believes in collaboration when learning. She likes to talk to all about her learning at the Toastmasters and also in the real world. She believes in giving what she has learned to the others. All the best. Back to you, Toastmasters of the day.
Thank you, Lydia. Thank you. Jyothi Thomas has finished 11 pathways, and she is on her second round now. Today, she joined Leadership Speak after finishing or completing 7 paths. Today, she's doing an icebreaker under the title, No Dreams, Only Reality. No Dreams, Only Reality, Jyothi Thomas.
Show of hands if you have never dreamt for anything. No dreams? Ha! I made you think. I had a dream. That dream today I stand, it's reality. At Toastmasters, when I came in here, today I'm giving the second visionary communication path. What is gone is different from what it is today. Journey of resilience, an icebreaker. All that I wanted in 2021 was I just felt it's not enough. I wanted to be at a club, at a place where there were multicultural groups, different people, different culture, who was able to take me to the next level. Manifestation. Today I stand in front of you. This is precisely where my journey took me, like a water-thirsty deer. I'm here. When I heard the first time when I was here at Toastmasters Leadership Speak, there was this senior member who said it was a 40th icebreaker, and that day I fell down and I thought, oh my God, today that has taken me up. The more paths I finished, like we say, more is less. The adrenal rush would not stop. Critical thinking became the catalyst that accelerated my personal growth. That was the collaboration. When paired with critical thinking, powerful synergy comes in. Do you agree? Everything that we wish to do will come through. A master's in public administration, master's in education, certificate of diploma from the Cambridge University for training and teaching. With all that, the thirst towards social entrepreneurship is what I was. When I was all of 24, I moved to Ottawa, Canada. My life was yo-yoing. Nonetheless, my family was bounded, and I would always call it as the United Colors of Benetton, with the intertwined, vibrant colors and languages I saw. I learned from my father, challenges were not roadblocks, but springboards. So why do I have to talk about what my father said at this point? We are at an advanced club. That is precisely which will keep us going. When I did my visionary communication last time, I was done with it, and that was the first time I was able to put everything on the spreadsheet, which was given in the pathway. The amount of effort that I put in, I never did keep account. Nor did I realize. Never did I realize my speech and icebreaker should connect to the path I am chosen. Collaborate both. Be critical in your thinking. Be like the advanced Toastmaster, self-directed. Fellow Toastmasters, the path of discovery. Challenges can never be roadblocks. There were times in the initial stages I wanted to give up. I said, that's it, enough. But the resilience in me is, I said, no, I am a warrior clan. My father was called as one of this particular thing, the Rajput, and we forge forward, never lay back. Today, what is my goal? Where am I going forward? The same visionary communication, I bring it to beyond Toastmasters, out of the club, into the real world, where I work with over 500 women, and every learning of mine here at Leadership Speak through my pathways become reality. Documented, put together. Little did I realize at that time. I may have finished 11 pathways, but when we do the rerun, come back, that's when I realized the inner light shines brighter than the external limitations. Fellow Toastmasters, how many of you can make your dreams come alive? Make sure you can manifest your path into leadership. We always say, often I say, when I lost my sight, I gained vision. When I started doing what I'm doing here at Toastmasters Leadership Speak, every speech of mine is strung like the pearls. I've taken it through, taking time to work on it, and this particular journey is going to be an entire journey of reality, not merely dreams. I urge each one of you, knock the door, check and see. Are we collaborating with our dreams, making it our reality? Or am I going to sit back? This is the place you call and you have a leader reaching out to you. I can name so many here. My gratitude. Remember, dreams are truly reality. Over to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jyothi, for a wonderful speech. Dreams are reality. Dreams are truly reality when we want them to be. Our fourth speaker, Rana, and her evaluator is Nicole Miller Douglas. Nicole Miller Douglas will share with us the purpose of Rosy's speech. Nicole, the stage is yours.
Good morning, Toastmaster Gilda. The purpose of Rosy's speech today is for her to clearly define how Toastmaster envisions mentoring. Also, in her speech, she should share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. The speech should not be a project on the content of the introduction to Toastmasters mentoring. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. Rana, she is a Toastmaster since 2005. She's a past district director and founder of District 114. Rozy recognized that collaboration with her team as well as with her different stakeholder is vital to success or for success. Rana, a legacy of influence, a legacy of influence. Rana.
Exactly a decade and a year ago, I was appointed the managing director of Dolans. Fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to take you even further back in time. It was in 1992 that I joined Dolans as a personal assistant, a PA to the then managing director, Jeremy Block. At that time, I knew nothing about coffee. Had you asked me the difference between a cappuccino and a brew coffee, I would probably have answered, one has an Italian accent, it costs more. What sort of hours are yours when you go to work? I would start at 7 a.m. My boss, as I was carrying out administrative tasks, would collaboratively work with the internal teams to make different coffee bulks, taste them, and look at how we could get value from the different bulks. He would then draw me into, again, collaborative sessions on strategy and problem solving. These were intense, and by 5 p.m., I would be completely exhausted. But not him. He was always someone like one on a triple espresso. He just didn't stop. In fact, even at 5:30, he would call me in and start dictating faxes and telexes to clients. Yes. After he left, I still had to send them out. For those of you, maybe I'm a dinosaur, faxes needed to be sent manually. It was not like emails today. I often felt overworked, and perhaps, I'm not sure really, but perhaps it was the learning and growth, or perhaps it was his infectious energy and passion for coffee that kept me anchored at Dolans. I joined him for visits to the farms and producing regions, and this is when I learned, or I watched him tell farmers through simple analogies of green tomatoes and red tomatoes, how they could reap higher revenues through tending to their crop. Did you know that the coffee that you drink starts in this form when it's plucked? It was this way that I learned the different steps, the intricate processes that coffee goes through from this berry to the drink in your cup. As I walked by his side, we visited neighboring Uganda, Tanzania, where we set up offices. And this is how I learned, beyond information on coffee, management and leadership. He may have been a very good leader, but he was tough. He pushed me hard. And perhaps this is where I learned resilience. I learned to be persistent. In 2005, when I joined Toastmasters, I got a beautiful, patient soul as a mentor. A very different approach. And this may be how Toastmasters envisions mentorship. Both of them have walked a journey with me. Both of them have shaped the leader that I have become. I have seen different ways that mentors have worked. One thing is important, it's how they fill my cup. Both of them had immense wisdom. It was in 2012 that Domans went through a rough patch. Jeremy went through a falling out with his partners. If you have ever been through a situation of conflict, you can know how draining, how consuming it is. Well, he did triumph, found new partners, new financiers. But parts of the company suffered, and radical changes were necessary in our roasting division. This is when Jeremy did something that I never expected. He asked me to manage, to be the managing director of Doman's Coffee, the roasting company. Me? Was he really talking to me? Yes, he was. And when a mentor begins to believe in you, you begin to believe in yourself. This journey of mine has taught me 3 powerful lessons about mentorship. The first is the fact that a mentor helps you have a higher sense of self-awareness. What are your blind spots? Even after 22 years of blood, sweat, and tears at Domans, I had climbed the ranks from a PA to an admin manager, to the human resource manager, a chief operating officer, and a chief financial officer. But I did not think I could be a managing director. Why? Because even the statistics show that more than 70% of managing directors are men. My perception was you had to be male, of course, powerful, sophisticated, commanding. Do you make comparisons? If you do, beware. Comparisons rob you of joy. There's still opportunities that could be yours. He saw potential in me, and that is the second lesson. Mentors unlock potential. He may have been hard, but it brought me resilience. He propelled my career. He may have been impatient, but he fueled the wind beneath my wings. He was, yes, tough, but never indifferent. He may have been a real pusher, but he cared deeply for my growth. He saw potential in me that I did not see in myself. Third, mentors pour into your cup. My mentors, both of them, have been men of immense skills and wisdom. Fellow Toastmasters, when you're looking for a mentor, don't you look for someone who has more, who has what you want? Well, if you are a mentor, it is important that you can pour. You fill your cup before you can pour into others' cups. Today, when my mentees look up to me for guidance, I know it is very important to keep sharpening my skills, because you can only pour when you have. So, fellow Toastmasters, in the last decade, I have grown the company. I have introduced innovations, and I have delivered record results. My greatest cheerleader has been my hero, my mentor. Also today, still my trusted advisor and a lifetime friend. So I invite you, choose to be mentored, it will shape your destiny. Choose to mentor because you could live a legacy. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Rosie. Mentorship is one of leadership speak strength. We use it as a main principle in our club. Thank you. Our last but not least speaker number 5, Fabian Joseph, and his evaluator, Hannah Schmidt. Hannah will tell us the objective of Fabian's project. The stage is yours, Hannah.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Fabian, he's speaking from Dynamic Leadership. Level 1, Project 1, also an icebreaker, 4 to 6 minutes. And the purpose is for this project, for the member to introduce themselves to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Fabian Joseph has been an active Toastmaster for 5 years, and currently he's focused on enhancing his leadership abilities. Alongside his Toastmaster journey, he serves as a national rugby player. His improvement and teamwork in sport undoubtedly enriches his leadership journey everywhere. Fabian Joseph, my road to success. My road to success, Fabian Joseph.
The road to success is not straight. There's a curve called failure, a loop called confusions, speed bumps called friends, and red lights called enemies. But if you have a spear called determination and an engine called perseverance, with insurance called faith, and a drive to make it, you, my friends, can reach a place called success. As a young boy growing up, I had many names. And the name that stands out the most, that everyone can remember today, was Big Wheel. Big Wheel was a name I got when I decided to take a run. And people who was liming in the street said they heard a herd of horses running towards them. So they cleared the streets. A minute later, it was me they saw and heard running towards them. The Big Wheel. Have you ever heard the saying, what you put in is what you got out? Growing up, I hated books. And in fact, I just hated school. And the thing that I loved doing the most was playing cricket. I was an attacking batsman because I'm a man who loves big things. And I love hitting big sixes and beautiful fours. Boundaries were my favorite way of scoring. And one day, I could vividly remember a teacher came to me and she said, young man, cricket will not give you grade 1s or it will not give you grade 2s. But knowing me, how I hated studying and I hated books, I chose the things that brought me happiness. I continued skipping all my classes and I attended all my cricket matches, hitting big sixes and beautiful fours. When the Caribbean examinations results came out, my scorecard looked like an attacking batsman. No ones, no twos, but sixes and fours are what I got for the 6 subjects I had written. I was so ashamed because walking home from school, everyone in the village asking me, "Oh, Big Will, what you got for exams?" And all I could remember saying, the Big Will did not do good, but the Big Will could have done better. That day, I had a reality check. When someone came to me and they said, "Young man, I was just like you, but I learned from my mistakes when I saw all my friends move on with their life and I was left behind playing." And from that day, those words kept circulating in my mind. And I knew I had to do something. Toastmasters, do you believe in second chances? Because if you don't, I truly believe that second chances are not given to make things right, but they are given to prove that we can be better even after a fall. And I was fortunate to get a second chance where I was enrolled into another secondary school. And this time, going back to school was not easy, especially when people thought that sending me back to school was a waste of time and a waste of money. But my biggest supporters, the ones that saw the best in me, my prayer warriors, were my parents. They saw something inside of me that I could not even see in myself. The first exam I wrote at the new school I was enrolled in, I got 3rd in the class. Can you believe that? The boundary hitter got 3rd. And from that day, my hunger for success grew stronger and stronger. Today, I proudly stand here as an international rugby player, as a leader, as a Toastmaster, and as someone who is on the verge of improving their leadership skills. To all the parents who are listening on this virtual call, I implore you to take off your parent hats and put on your friendship hats. And meet your children on their level. Let them understand that you are there for them, even when they think that nothing is not happening in their life. Because sometimes all they want to know is that you are there for them. You see the good in them when they cannot see it in themselves. Because the journey to success, my friends, is not easy. But with your guidance in their life, they can meet that place. Let's all do this together. And let's remember that if it does not challenge you, it would not change you. Thank you very much.
How true. And thank you, Fabian. Timer, can you post the speaker's time in the chat box? And while our timer, Miriam, will do that, I would like to tell our guests that in Leadership Speak, in our club, we understand and we practice the principles of collaborative leadership. We enhance our critical thinking. to give positive feedback to each other, to learn from each other. We mentor each other and meet for coaching and mentoring every week. Every meeting is a collaborative effort between all the leaders to come up with meetings that guests will have a lot to take away home. Our next session is general evaluation. And that's where we learn a lot by giving or receiving positive feedback. Our general evaluator is Ray Rivero. He's been a Toastmaster since 2012 and is one of the charter members of Leadership Speak. He served as leadership role at both club and district level and has earned 2 Distinguished Toastmasters Award, one from Toastmasters pre-Pathways program and one through Pathways. Please join me in welcoming Distinguished Toastmaster Ray Rivero as our General Evaluator. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so very much, Gilda, for that wonderful introduction. Today, as the General Evaluator, I will take the responsibility of the meeting to help guide our evaluations of today's wonderful speeches. I don't know who's going to be the best speaker today. These were all outstanding best speaker entries, but let's hear who's going to be our best evaluator today, starting with the evaluation of the toast by Terrence Ware for Nikita Winkler. Terrence, if we could get the spotlight on you, let us know give us your evaluation on Nikita's toast.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ray. I will get straight into it. Nikita Winkler, congratulations on delivering the toast this morning, this afternoon, or whatever time zone the members have joined us from. What I found effective in your delivery, first, was the fact that you were enthusiastic. This is ideally the first, according to the program, this is ideally the first interaction we have as members immediately after the essay, and it sets the tone for the whole meeting. And I can confidently say that you delivered and you did well, so that as members and as people attending this meeting, our spirits were raised for the rest of the meeting. Something else I noted that we encourage at Leadership Speak is that a speaker is encouraged to stand. I am evaluating this speech, I am seated, but as a speaker, it gives more oomph and it gives more energy and more power when you deliver while standing. That was excellent. And the smile, that topped off everything. I would challenge you to improve on just one area as you deliver your toast. I liked how you were able to get us to unmute ourselves, raise our glasses, and toast to visionary leadership as a result, which is not a coincidence. What I noticed in that toast was that we need to thank the audience. As while raising the toast, you need to thank the audience after the toast, because you've requested them to do something, and it's only fair that you thank them after they do it. Apart from that, I enjoyed that toast to Leadership Speak. Back to you, Ray.
Thank you so very much, Terrence. That's always a challenge from each and every evaluator. How can I help improve a speaker in 3 minutes or less? Terrence, wonderful job. And I salute you with my own toast as well. Cheers. Next is our evaluator for the Toastmaster Day, the one and only Sandra Valks for Gilda. Sandra, the floor is all yours, and
Thank
the
you.
spotlight as well.
Thank you very much. Gilda and I connected ahead of the meeting, and thank you, Gilda, for letting me know that this was for managing a meeting at the level 4 of your project path, and that what you wanted me to watch for in particular was your confidence and your comfort with the job. That's where I'm going to focus, because you did a wonderful job. Practice makes perfect, so if you come back and do that every week, you're going to be a pro. You stepped in and handled yourself very well once the introduction had been kind of misplaced. You didn't embarrass anyone. You just had to step in and start. But that did give you a surprise. So you stumbled around in there a little bit, but you got your introduction through. And that was a tough way to start in the meeting, because I'm sure you were anxious once that happened. You are carrying out with your accent and so on. You've got a lovely pace. So you're giving us time to hear what you have to say, and you're thinking as you're doing it. You are a caring person, and that shows. You deliver thoughtfully. Once you got into the flow, then you added your own personal passion. It was just that beginning point. And you did your best to help the timer, but that was a challenge that we had to handle in behind. But since you didn't address it, then it came back to bite you a couple of times. But Miriam got the virtual hand finally, and away she went. But that was a challenge for you, and I'm sure that added to the anxiety for the beginning. Now, going forward, you have to keep the meeting moving. And so when you were first starting, you were doing a lot of talk in between, giving the welcome all over again. Welcome, how are you? Where are you speaking from? That was all done in the welcome. So just introduce the roles and have them take on their roles is what I would suggest. And the comment on the speakers, once you got into the speakers, you just had lovely little one-line content from the speaker and into the next one. That was beautifully done. I could see your comfort growing as you went through. So congratulations with that. Practice does make it easier. Well done. And I'm so happy that you care about what you're doing, because that's showing and coming through here to the audience. Back to you, GE.
Thank you so very much, Sandra. And the explanation that you gave to Gilda can apply to all of us speakers, because sometimes, especially when we're out of practice because we haven't attended meetings for a while, we tend to be like stone, and we gotta get the fluids going. And it does take practice to kind of go from stone to flow. Very good. And for Gilda, and I love that you give the reminder that every Toastmaster, especially here in leadership speak, gets a level 4 completion for managing an online meeting. That's true for each and everybody who conducts the Toastmaster of the Day role here. There's no such thing as just giving a free speech. You got to get that credit. So thank you very much for reminding all of us about it. My next evaluator is going to be Leah Musunga, who is going to give an evaluation. Yes, you. And we're going to go and give Bindu a very good evaluation, aren't we? We'll see. Do the best you can. And I apologize. I didn't realize this, but it's usually who's going to give the evaluation, not Leah. Somebody surprised me right now. Shame on you guys. Over to you, usually.
Thank you, Ray. I'm going to evaluate the keynote speaker, Toastmaster Jessica Mathabatha. Congratulations, Toastmaster Mathabatha, on your persuasive speech you have delivered today. From the beginning to the end, you have presented some important elements for managing our voice as a leader. You were captivating and convincing. You had a professional look and you speak as well as a professional. You set the tone from the introduction by your first sentence. True leadership is not a solo ride, it's collaboration. You went on to show to the audience how leaders can use their voice to engage, to empower, and influence others. You presented to the audience 5 tools in voice management: pitch, pace, melody, tone, and volume. You added a sixth one, the body language, in order to help us to deliver great message. And you don't just present those tools. You have used your own voice as example to strengthen your message. You conclude by encouraging the audience to use their voice in order to impact their environment, to have promotion also as work. And I have a question for you, Toastmaster Mathabatha. How was the collaboration with the Toastmaster of the day in the preparation of the meeting? Even you have linked the theme on collaboration with your speech that was on voice managing. I think that the theme could have been on voice, or your speech could have been more on collaboration. So next time, make sure that, because you as a keynote speaker and the Toastmaster of the day, you are linked together. You have to work together and to present one message about the whole theme of the meeting. The second aspect that I would encourage you to improve or to work on is your body language or your screen presence. That's why I stand, just to show you. When you are using your hand, most of the time they were below, they were not visible. So when you are speaking, make sure that your hand gestures are visible to the audience. And the third aspect that I would like you to work on: where were you during the presentation? You had 20 minutes presentation. You had never used a personal example. You could have used some personal example in order to relate to the message that you were presenting to the audience. You could have used your own personal example, how you have used your voice as a leader. Other than that, congratulations, you have presented with confidence in your message. You had a lot of values. Personally, I have a lot of takeaway to work on for my presentation, and work on synchronization with the theme, your screen presence, and add some personal example for your next presentation. Other than that, congratulations, you have left the audience with a lot of work to do with their voice. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you so very much, Yusuli. And I just realized my mistake was, how could I forget you as the evaluator for our leadership speak meeting for today? Oh my goodness. Well, it only goes to show you, thank goodness, perfection is not a core value of Toastmasters International. And I do love how Jessica introduced us with examples of all 6 of her communication toolkit. And I loved how you suggested that we include that into, suggest that she include that into in a future speech. And outstanding job of doing that evaluation. Now, to move forward, now I can introduce Leah to do Bindu's presentation. So my apologies, Leah, to call you up before you were supposed to be called up. So now go ahead and give Bindu that 3-minute evaluation. You are going to try to fit in all that good advice within 3 minutes, right? Okay, good. Have at it.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator, and to you, Bindu. I must say, you gave us an informative speech, and I thought you were effective by starting off your speech with a question. That was a great way to engage your audience. I also noted the use of your vocal variation by adding narratives into your speech. I thought that was very effective because it gave us the audience the opportunity to see the different characters that were present in the speech that you were providing, because it was a serious matter. And based on the previous evaluation, I could see that indeed the way you presented the speech, it was in that serious matter because we are dealing with the heavy topic of depression. In terms of you looking at the audience, it was very clear that you were focused directly with us, the audience in here in Zoom. So that was well done. And definitely, I didn't see you smiling quite a lot. So in terms of the 3 items that were noted in your first speech, I think you have been very effective in ensuring that indeed you have applied the feedback that you were given in that first speech. So 2 items that I noted that you might want to work on in your next speech is regarding Zoom presence. I noticed that when you were presenting your speech, we could see you from sort of this position. So most of the times when you used your hands, we couldn't see much, and it shows that there's quite a lot of space between my head and where the screen ends. It's amazing that you were standing, so I wish you could have adjusted your laptop so that we could see more of your body, so that when you do use those gestures, they are very clear and visible. Then in terms of challenging yourself, because you were standing, which is an amazing thing, I noticed that you kept moving forward and backwards, and that can sometimes be a little bit distracting. So just be mindful of your movements, so that you're not constantly moving, so it looks like you're not constantly moving back and forth. Other than that, well done in ensuring that indeed you applied the feedback from your first speech and you worked on your Zoom in terms of connecting with your audience and controlling your smile, and even in terms of your vocal variation. So just be mindful again in terms of how you position your camera so that more of your body is available, and also just the movements that you make as you are presenting your speech. Other than that, well done and good luck in your future speeches. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Leah. And I loved how you introduced the Zoom presence. One idea for all of us in our Zoom presence is something that I've learned studying photography, being in the center of the picture. If anyone is familiar with the old tic-tac-toe game, you'll notice you have 2 lines horizontal, 2 lines vertical, 9 little squares. Aim for the center or just a little bit above center to just make sure that you're in that, roughly your head is in that presence. That's great advice. Thank you very much, Leah, for the reminder. And of course, movement. Body language is always meant to have a purpose when we try to do a speech to emphasize points. But we sometimes, especially when we're trying to learn how to do speeches, it kind of is a way to have an outlet for our nervousness. So that's also something that we have to balance. So very good points, Leah. Thank you very much. And wonderful speech, Bindu. I really enjoyed this speech. So I'm going to go to the next speech to enjoy, Vinod Panicker. And evaluating Vinod is the one and only Marie Cusin. So, Marie, let's hear your evaluation. Remember, fit it in 3 minutes. A lot of information to share with Vinod. Make him a better speaker today.
Thank you. Wow, Vino, your delivery in the main thing was powerful and engaging. Your voice, gestures, and body language effectively conveyed your message on leadership and maintaining focus. The clarity of your motivational speech with 3 stories and your ability to illustrate key concepts made it memorable. This evaluation will highlight your strengths and suggest refinement to enhance impact further. Strength in delivery. Voice. Your vocal variety was commendable, maintaining a dynamic range that kept the audience engaged. The emphasis on key phrases such as keep the main thing, reinforce your central message effectively. The controlled pacing allowed the audience to absorb your points without feeling rushed. Gestures. Your hand movement complemented your speech well, reinforcing your argument visually. When discussing leadership roles in delivering results, your open palm gesture conveyed confidence and transparency. Body language. Your use of space was strategic. Lateral movement added energy and emphasized contrast, such as distinguishing between finding solutions and making excuses. Your posture exuded authority and insurance, reinforcing your leadership theme. Areas for improvement. Proximity for impact. To enhance audience engagement, consider moving forward at key moments. For example, when addressing personal responsibility in problem solving, leaning slightly toward the camera would create an intimate connection, making the message more compelling. Purposeful movement. While lateral movements were well executed, incorporating forward steps when posing reflective questions such as do you find excuses or do you find solutions would amplify the weight of this movement. In conclusion, your delivery was engaging, authoritative, and structured for clarity. Refining your movement to include strategic proximity and depth will further enhance your impact. Keep leveraging your strong vocal variety and gesture while adding intentional forward movement to deepen audience connection. Well done, Vino. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so very much, Marie, for that wonderful evaluation. Vinod, I don't know if I should be the donkey or Shrek in your speech, but thank you for providing that tale. I really, really enjoyed the analogy to not be focused more on the donkey, but Shrek. But if I get to be the Shrek, I'm going to use donkey's humor.
Hey, Ray, where's Fiona?
Oh, Yeah, I didn't have time to put in Fiona with. This is a 7-minute speech. I'm just glad Lord Farquaad didn't show up. Let's continue with Jyothi Thomas's speech and introduce her evaluator, Lydia Wanjiku. And if I messed up the pronunciation of your last name, my apologies. Please, let's give some criteria to Jyothi's excellent speech.
Thank you. Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Dreams are a reality. Toastmaster Jyothi Thomas, you excelled in your speech. The structure was well structured. It was engaging. You walked us through your life and the way you decided to move to Canada, and we were able to connect with your story. And also, you also decided to join Leadership Speak Club, where we wanted to be in a club that has members from various cultures. And you were able to take us through the reason why you decided to do the visionary path the second time, because this time you are critically using critical thinking, because your icebreaker speech is supposed to connect with your path. And that was very, very clear. Your Zoom presence was good, and your voice, the tonation of your voice also was great. Gestures that you were connecting with your speech, and you smiled all through your speech. I liked when you talked about your father being radical and you being a warrior. Then you also told us that challenge can never be a roadblock. And through your speech, you were able to get that challenges can never be a roadblock. I really struggled to find something you can work on. However, I challenge yourself when you're asking members, when you're posing a question, pause for a second so that you give us time to process, to ponder your question, and you continue with your speech. For example, when you ask us, how can you make dreams come true? At that particular time, you should have paused a little bit for us to ponder the question, and then you continue. In conclusion, your smile was very engaging, and your story, we were connecting with your story. Overall, you did a great speech, which was very engaging, and thank you so much for that great speech. And back to you, our General Evaluator.
Thank you so very much, Lydia, for that wonderful evaluation. I'd love how you introduced two particularly great comments about icebreakers. You recognize that because Jyothi has completed 11 paths from the original Pathway series, you notice that in her icebreaker, you applied a different criteria, a criteria of an experienced Toastmaster who has given icebreakers several times. That means that's a different type of evaluation for an icebreaker to a veteran Toastmaster, as opposed to one who is doing an icebreaker as a first speech in a club. There's a different criteria that's involved, and you pointed it out so beautifully. Thank you very much for pointing that out in your evaluation. And this is very important. We're all guilty of this, no matter what level of experienced speaker we are. The pause. The pause. The pause. Okay, thank you for taking out the whiteboard. It was a little distracting. So let me try that again. The pause. Just like going through an excellent meal, we want to pause a little bit to digest the information presented in the speech within our minds, or we might get an equivalent of indigestion. And it's such an important technique to learn and to use, but never easy to carry out. Thank you, Lydia, for pointing that out. Our next evaluator is Nicole Miller-Douglas, who will be evaluating Rozy Rana's speech on a legacy of influence. So, Nicole, you're all set. We're all looking forward to your evaluation.
Thank you, Sir General Evaluator. Rozy, thanks for the opportunity to collaborate with you on your leadership journey. Also, congratulations on your appointment as Managing Director. I believe your speech was very relevant to me, especially as an aspiring self-directed leader. I will cover what you did well, what you can improve on, and how you can elevate your speech. Firstly, I want to comment on matters such as your content, your confidence. I want to include your courage, your Zoom presence. You were very confident. I liked how you demonstrated and projected yourself. This confidence was projected even in your Zoom presence. You positioned yourself in such a way that you could demonstrate strong leadership qualities. And as someone who has grown to the position of being a managing director, I liked your gesture. I like the fact that you had coffee beans to display. So persons who may not have seen a coffee bean before is able to say, I know what one looks like. What I would like you to work on, this speech is scheduled for 5 to 7 minutes, which speakers can take 30 seconds, less or more. I noticed that you took 7 minutes and 47 seconds. So I want to recommend that you practice your speech some more and try to aim at 6 minutes. So when you're doing the actual presentation, if there are any glitches, you will still be within the time allotted for you to do this presentation. Now, I find the purpose of this speech was to motivate persons to take on a mentorship role, which we know is one of the strong pillars of leadership speak. It was motivating for me, and a recommendation is that this very speech can be elevated to become an inspirational one that you can share as a guest speaker to inspire those who may be a little nervous about taking on leadership role. Those who their mentors may identify that they have certain ability, but they just don't have the courage to give it a try. So with this speech, I believe it can be presented in other areas where it's a motivational or inspiring session outside of just where you work or outside of leadership speak, and that it can inspire so many others to take on leadership roles that they are showing the potential for. Thank you again for collaborating with me for this opportunity to give you feedback. Over to you, Sir General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Nicole. Great points to present. And I will add a few extra points myself. First of all, when we talk about passion in a mentor, I don't think that I've ever heard it emphasized enough about how important passion is from a mentor to pass along to a mentee. How many times have we encountered mentors who is like, whatever? And then contrast that with the energy and enthusiasm that just rubs off. Just like a triple espresso. Rozy, I think we now have a new nickname for you. Triple Espresso Rozy. And you know something? If you're going to do a keynote speech on this, and I think this is a perfect keynote speech, your points of advice can be just like the shots of espresso. Just think about that. 3 points from a triple espresso, and you compare it to the shots of triple espresso. And I even liked at the beginning you couldn't recognize a drip of coffee from a cappuccino. How far you've come along. Outstanding speech and some great advice. I'm surprised that I'm not surprised that you were a little over on time, because there was a lot of good points in it. So triple espresso Rozy, congratulations. I too salute you with a toast. And our final evaluator is Hannah Schmidt, who will be evaluating Vivian Joseph's speech, My Road to Success. Hannah, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator, and especially Vivian. An icebreaker speech is your Toastmasters debut, designed to introduce yourself and kickstart your public speaking journey with the basic structure of a public speech, as the purpose of the statement says. Even as a dynamic leader, it is about feeling comfortable while sharing who you are. You started with a strong personal story, a thought-provoking question to grab my attention immediately, and I suppose everybody else's also. Your speech was chronologically structured from your school days right through your life to your future life. Did I hear any reference to your titles, The Road to Success? Absolutely. Big wheel. What you put in, you get out. And you need not be ashamed of your speech today. According to me, it deserves a 1 and another 1. Wonderful vocal variety, especially imitating those horses and capturing all the excitement of your achievements and your mishaps. Yet, I would have anticipated a bit more light on your face to watch your eyes shine and emphasize the importance of your speech. You wrapped up your summary with a key message. You reiterated something important or meaningful if you want the audience to remember about you. Yes, you as a rugby player and hunger for success. Your smile engaged with the audience and created a friendly, relaxed atmosphere. Not at all nervous for an icebreaker. Even icebreakers should include a call to action, like meeting children on their own level, something which is neglected worldwide. But I'd like to challenge you on your Zoom presence. You sort of stood on one place. You can use the whole screen for your Zoom presence. Your vocal variety, as I said, it was good, but adding a few more pauses would have enhanced your message even more and helped me connect with, and of course, the audience. It is just a pity that so few videos are open, so we can all see more of their reactions for your speech. Vivian, the road to success is not paved with gold, but with hard work, perseverance, and failure. And most of all, the journey is as important as the destination. Even with your 4s and 6s, you are on the road to success. Mr. General Evaluator and Vivian.
Thank you so very much, Hannah, for that outstanding evaluation and piece of advice. And Vivian, that was a very good icebreaker. Very proud. No 6s, 5s, or 4s. It's definitely a 1 all around. Fantastic opening, an outstanding close with a takeaway message. Very good job in your speech today. Now, let's see. Last thing before I pass along back to the Toastmaster Day, a few comments. she was right that we had a bit of a little delay in opening, and but the good news about any of the what are so-called imperfections that we do during our meeting, they're always correctable. They're always a learning experience. And and for those of you who are familiar with the American game of baseball, whenever a pitcher goes to the mound to begin a game, they always hope for a perfect game, but very rarely do they ever get it. We don't have to pitch a perfect game. We just have to do the best we can under the circumstances so that we can learn from that and try it again. And that's what we do here, not only in Leadership Speak, but we take that back to all the clubs and all the Toastmasters meetings that we attend. So we start off a little choppy. We started picking up the momentum, and we still kept going. And there are a lot of great bits and pieces of advice that we all can learn on. I'm almost looking forward, after I post this information onto our YouTube channel, that we can just sit back and get and absorb all this great pieces of advice in today's speeches. Overall, I think we have done a fantastic job. There are a few points to learn, but for all those who feel that they didn't do their best, the beautiful thing is, learn from what you felt was your shortcomings, try it again, and again, and again. Notice my pauses? For that, I'll turn it over to our Toastmaster of the day,
Ray, can you
Gilda.
follow the agenda and call the grammarian and then the trainer?
Oh, thank you so very much
And
for
the
reminding
poll
that.
for the evaluators?
You know, now I'm going to have to be a general evaluator again in the near future there, Bron, because I have to learn how to correct these mistakes.
No worries.
All right, then.
We did. Thanks.
Okay, we already had the timer post the times for both the speeches and evaluations. And I think instead of just, well, let's do the grammarian first before we launch the poll, shall we? Okay, let's have the grammarian report today. Let me take a look at the agenda. I got to get it in front of me.
Point of information.
Yes, Nicole,
General Evaluator. She said she stepped away for a moment. She just messaged me that she stepped away for a moment. Could you move on to the other person?
Can we go ahead and launch the poll for best speaker?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Do we have all the has the poll been submitted for the best speaker? Okay. While we're waiting for the best evaluator poll to pop up, let's go ahead and have Nicole present her grammarian report.
Thank you, Ray. Awesome. All right. So those who use the word of the day, we have a total of 4 usage. Marie Vinod used it twice, and Nicole Miller Douglas, thank you. You used it once. So that's a total of 4 times. Things I liked, whether it's quotes, thoughts, words, or sayings today. Nikita, during your toast, your quote, you said, "This web we have woven." This is a famous quote by Sir Walter Scott. And I think you used it quite appropriately. So well done. Jessica, vocabulary such as exude. When you said you exude that confidence, essence of mastering powerful communication. Engage, inspire, influence are some words that I made note of. And the silent amplifier of our communication. Well done. Vinod, sorry. No matter what haystack we see, I love that figure of speech. I love how you use alliteration as well when you repeated about the donkeys, decisions, and the analogies that you incorporated in your speech. So overall for speakers, I noticed that we had a lot of usage of figure of speeches, and that was excellent. Jyothi, words such as catalyst, accelerate, and your simile when you said, your use of simile when you said, every speech of mine is strong like pearls. Lovely. Rozy, what are your blind spots? You asked us. That was lovely. And your mentor, your metaphor when you said mentors pour into our cup. Awesome. Fabian talked about his parents and how they prayed him through, but he said prayer warriors. That was amazing. And he also said, I love his quote, if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Well done. What area can we improve on grammar? Okay, Jessica, during your keynote type speech, you said they not allow only elevating themselves. So I would suggest using a better, the correct verb form would be elevate. So they not only elevate themselves, etc. And then Leah, I would just say caution on your economy of language. So those words that are redundant. For example, you said that you have indeed applied the feedback. And you said again in another sentence, indeed. So that word can be removed and it would be said that you have applied the feedback. So overall, in summary, I commend the efforts of all speakers with their language skills today. There are areas we can definitely improve on, but Leadership Speak has high level of grammar. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Madam Grammarian. And for all those who didn't use the word of the day, please refrain from saying it multiple times and putting it multiple times in the chat. Please, we got to move on. Now, can we launch the poll for Best Evaluator? And while we're waiting for that, I want to commend Miriam for managing the best that she can for being in the timer's role today. Let's give her just a round of applause for that. Marian, I know it wasn't a perfect experience, but all I'm asking for in each and every one of us is that we turn each of our experience into a learning experience so that we keep becoming better and better. Okay, so let's see. Give me a moment. I got to go vote myself. Okay, then. And for our, hopefully we will have our best speakers and best evaluators posted sometime soon. And while we're waiting for that, I think I'll turn this over to our, let me see. Agenda. I'm going to turn this over to our trainer, Bram Mamon, the one, the only. Bram?
Thank you. Ray, thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll wait for me to be spotlighted and then I can talk more. But in the meantime, you can just hear my voice. Ray, do I sound good? Oh, there I am.
Sound great.
All right, I was just trying to fill in some time for the spotlight. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the club founder, and so I come here because I train a lot of people behind the scenes as to how the meetings should go. Quality and excellence is the key. Now, of course, when members come here from community clubs, they are not expected to have quality and standards and excellence the way it's supposed to be. It's a learning curve. It's a very steep learning curve. And we have members from all over the world, some of them very experienced from their own clubs, but when they come here, they do find that the learning curve is indeed steep. As Vinod said, and he is a charter member, and so is Ray. And they understand that in the very first meeting, when we launched the club, we mentioned this is all about leadership development. It's an advanced club. And as you saw, there were no table topics. So as an advanced club, there are things that we say and the things that we avoid saying. And there were, however, those things that we try and avoid saying were present in this meeting. Let me point out for our future improvement. For example, wow, I loved it. The amazing, great speeches. Now let's hear the evaluators, for example. So those are superfluous filler words because we don't know what to say if we are not prepared. So I call them filler words. They are not words that are spoken so that it improves the meeting or tells people what they actually did that was great. So let's drop the superfluous words to begin with. As quite rightly mentioned by Sandra, the Toastmaster of the day, and Ray, the Toastmaster of the day is actually doing her level 4 pathways, managing an online meeting. Now, there's something that happens for an online meeting, ladies and gentlemen. What is that? The meeting for the Toastmaster of the day begins 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time, sometimes a month. Actually, right now, it's about a month ahead of time. Well, what do I mean by that? The Toastmaster of the day is assigned a month before, so they know when they are doing the meeting, and they also know who the leadership speak presenter is at the same time. And as quite rightly pointed out by the leadership education speaker, there was something missing. And what was missing was speaking to the theme. I know the theme was changed about a week ago, but even the old theme that was changed to this particular theme, even that wasn't really addressed either. Mentioning one line in there doesn't quite cut it. So what we are trying to do is emphasize more collaboration between the Toastmaster of the day and the education speaker. Collaboration. And the whole meeting is about collaboration anyways. So those are some of the things that would take us to the next level. On the other hand, Gilda, you did amazing work way beforehand. You really succeeded in opening the WhatsApp group, putting everybody in, following through, and you did an excellent job. So as a newer Toastmaster, you did very well. There's some learning experiences. We'll talk about it later. Of course, to improve yourself and to really lead meetings with greater confidence. Absolutely loved your the way you handled it today as a newbie to leadership speak. We heard some very relevant speeches today. We heard from Vinod and especially Vinod, what leadership speak really is and the direction we want to go. And he's a great storyteller. I mean, if I were to tell you about leadership speak and where we need to go, I wouldn't tell you a story about the donkeys, right? I would just say, this is what we are, this is what we should do, and this is our focus, this is our mandate. That's what I would say. I'm a trainer, that's what I do. But here, Vinod is excellent at telling stories. Every presentation he does, there's a story before the lesson. So I have a few things to learn about stories. I wonder where I could pick the stories up from, but there you go. Having said all that, let's drop the superfluous words of you amazing, great, and awesome, and say, this is where you excelled at, this is where you could improve on and take it to the next level, and so on. I congratulate Marie on an amazing, well-done evaluation. That was like superb. Thank you, Marie. Mm-hmm. With that, Ray, over to you.
Thank you very much, Bram. Now I'm going to wait for me to be spotlighted so I can proceed. Oh, there I am. Ah, very nice. Okay. Let me see. I don't think I have anything else other than who won Best Speaker and a Best Evaluator. Do we have that yet, or can we? Let's proceed.
That will be announced by the TMOD later on. So it's just hand it to the TMOD.
I will hand it to the TMOD then. Okay, then without further explanation and delay, I'll hand this over to Gilda. Gilda, you can take over from here.
Thank you, General Evaluator Ray, and thank you, our trainer, President Bram, for all the feedback that we really need to have growth, more growth in our self. And I hope the guests have so many takeaways from this meeting. By attending our meetings regularly, we could all, members and guests, witness the collaboration leadership in this club, and how we exchange insights and how we refine our skills. It's all by training, practicing, getting enough coaching and mentoring from each other. And now we go to the last session of our regular meetings, which is the thought of the day. And the thought of the day, it will be given by one of the leaders in the club, Zinga Jesse.
Hi, Gilda. Hello from Angola. The essence of collaborative leadership. This is what I found in Leadership Speak. A common purpose to become better self-directed leaders for all of us from 29 countries across the globe. The strength, our collaborative strength today, was demonstrated not only by the collaboration between everybody involved in this meeting today and showing up for this meeting today, but also those who create the conditions for that collaboration to occur. The ingredients you mentioned, Gilda, were seen today. I'll mention just a couple. The shared decision-making, you started by saying that you worked on the theme of the meeting. That brings diverse perspective to each meeting. Every member is empowered to participate, to put its own pinch of salt or sugar into the meeting, or spicy. And then the communication, the inputs, the feedback. During the meeting, timer, please raise your electronic hand behind the scenes on WhatsApp group. It is an ongoing collaboration. It's amazing. On my road, on our road to success, I would say, let's unmask ourselves. Stay true, not lean on dreams, but get real. And also, don't be the donkey. Keep the eye on the goal, on the main thing. Using our voice to elevate our leadership skills. And why not mentor others to leave a legacy? Back to you, Gilda.
Thank you. Thank you for the thought, Zinga. I believe we have the results of Best Speaker and Best Evaluator. So let's display them. Wow. Best Speaker, Vinod Panicker. Distinguished Toastmaster, Vinod Panicker. Best Speaker. A big round of applause. Next, best evaluator. Okay. Do we have the best evaluator? Well, while we're waiting, okay, coming up. Marie Cusin, best evaluator for this meeting. Congratulations, Marie Cusin, for winning the best evaluator. Congratulations to both, and congratulations to all speakers and participants. And now I turn it back to our president, distinguished Toastmaster Bram, to give us his insight and to greet and to talk to our valuable guests. Back to you, Bram.
Sorry, I'm speaking with my microphone off. There we go. I got it. If you can please, Ray, I know, right? Mr. G. Unmute yourself.
Yes.
I know.
Too many. Well, we learn from our mistakes.
So, and you know what? I've heard on international big, huge meetings with thousands of people, the big speaker is talking and nobody can hear him. So, can you spotlight Leah with me, please? Did you finally? Ah, there you go. Hey, Leah, how are you?
I'm all right.
Now, who is Leah Musunga, dear ladies and gentlemen? Leah Musunga is our Vice President of Membership, and she should really be addressing this, the guests, and I will just be here while, and help because I know most of the guests anyway, and I know who they are, right, and where they come from, whatever. But over to you, Leah, and it's all yours.
All right, thank you so much for that, Bram. And based on the guest book, I think we had 1 or 2 people who filled in. One of them is someone who has visited countless times. And I think one person who's a guest. Hi, Winnie. I know you didn't fill in our guest book. Would you like to unmute yourself? Hi, Winnie. Oh, she is feeling shy.
All right, so let's talk to Amrik Chima, who's in California and is the Club Growth Director in California.
All right.
So Amrik Chima. So I told you I know most of the guests, right? Amrik, are you there? All right. I think he's having breakfast because very early in California right now. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. And look at him, he's here, right? So who else can you see?
I can see Leah Ninja. I think she's a guest.
Hello, hello.
My namesake. Hello.
Yes, please, I'm a guest. I'm a guest. Unfortunately, I cannot turn on my video. I am visiting for the second time, and it's a very interesting meeting. I've got a lot of takeaways, great speeches, great speakers. Everything is of top notch, and I look forward to collaborate what I can do in my future projects. I'm coming from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, from the Toastmasters Club. Thank you very much. Over to you, Leah.
Oh, wow. Thank you all the way from Tanzania. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us yet again. And you are free to come and be in our meetings, join us whenever you want. But more, we're looking forward to you actually becoming a member of the club. I think another person I noticed who is a guest is Helen. I don't know if she's still here. or she has left?
Helen is from China. She's probably fallen asleep by now.
Oh, okay. And I think I had seen a Robin Stone.
Yes, he's a
Robin
Rolling Stone.
Stone.
Hi, yes, I'm from South Africa. Bram and I know each other. So I've been to quite a few leadership speak events, but never been to a club meeting. So this was my first time and was just interested in seeing what a meeting was actually like. So thank you very much. Very good.
Well,
All
Robin,
right, so-
it's time for you to join us.
Maybe.
Stop rolling around and just join us.
Yeah. Thanks, Bram. I might take you up on that.
All right, we'll talk soon.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Okay. I think the other ones I had noted, I don't know if they're still here. I don't see them here. I noted Bridget, Josie. I think they have dropped off now.
All right, so let's acknowledge our brand new members who just joined today. Today is the first official day. So if you can call them and we can spotlight them, and that'd be great.
All right. So I think one of them is Gerda.
Rada.
Yeah, Gerda. And Nelly. I see Gerda is she's definitely there. And I think I'd seen Nelly earlier. I don't know if she has dropped out. Yeah, I don't see Nelly on the call anymore.
Yeah, Nelly's dropped off.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Well, all right. So our new member, I think for most of the people in the club, you might have seen on our WhatsApp group, but here she is alive in person, for us to officially welcome her to the club in our meeting. So welcome, Gerda. I think we had spoken to you last week in our meeting, and here's the following week. You are now part of the club. So my question to you is, when can we expect you to present your speech?
I'm super ready. Hopefully in the coming weeks, maybe after 2 weeks, or I'll try my best to speak as soon as possible. I'm so excited to start my speeches.
Yeah, definitely. And we're definitely looking forward to collaborating with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
Leia, did you use the C word, collaborate?
Yes, I did.
All right, grammarian, note that.
All right, thank you. Back to you, Bram.
Well, Leia, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to have you in the meetings. I hope you attend all the meetings from now until June. What a challenge, huh?
Definitely.
Oh, not every week. We meet every week, ladies and gentlemen, every week except for the last week in December, which is the only time we are not meeting. So there you go. You can maximize your stay as a guest here, keep coming every week. And if you join as a member, then you get all the leadership training, the top training globally, because this is the top club globally. Why? Our quality is superb. You've seen the excellence with which we conduct ourselves, even though we have newer members, and they still get trained before they come here to present. So you're in good hands. Consider your membership in Leadership Speak. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I hand it over to our boss, Toastmaster of the Day, Gilda Shlah.
Thank you, boss, for giving the stage to me. And I hope all the guests and our leaders at our club have many takeaways from our meeting today. This was done under the theme of the essence of collaborative leadership. And now it's my privilege, and with the power invested in me, I adjourn this meeting. Host, you can stop the recording now.